I want to tell you something I've never really said out loud. It's a little embarrassing. I didn't care about grass at all. When this started, a lawn was the most boring thing I could picture. Green, flat, there. That was the entire extent of my relationship with a lawn. I took this gig because I edited video, and David needed somebody to edit video. That's the whole romantic origin story. There wasn't a moment where I looked out at a field and felt something stir in my chest. I looked at a rate and it felt fine about the rate. Then it kind of crept up on me. The first thing that got me wasn't even the lawn. It was a time lapse. We had this beat up section of yard that looked like my dog had been doing math homework on it for years. Bare patches, weeds, the whole sad story. David ran the protocol on it, and the thick lawn stuff, the boring patient version where you don't chase quick fixes. And I had the footage and the after footage open in two windows on my screen. Same yard, 8 weeks apart. And I just sat there for a minute longer than I needed to. It got me. I don't fully know why. I think it's because so much of what I do disappears. You edit a video, it goes up, it scrolls past, and it's gone by Tuesday. But that yard was real. That was actual dirt that decided to become something. And somebody just had to be patient enough to let it happen. That's the thing I fell for. Not the grass exactly, patience that actually pays you back. Because here's what nobody warns you about lawn care, and it's the part that I find almost beautiful now. You can't rush it. You can't. The grass does not care about your weekend. It doesn't care that you want it thick by Friday for the barbecue. It grows at exactly the speed it grows. And all you really get to do is set the table and wait. Water it, feed it, mow it high, don't panic, repeat. The whole protocol is basically one long lesson in not panicking. And I needed that, if I'm honest. I'm a person who refreshes the analytics page. I want the number to go up. I want it to go up now. Editing this channel, watching David do the same calm thing week after week after week, slowly turned down the volume on that part of my brain. You put the work in, you walk away, you trust it. And weeks later, something shows up that you could not have forced, no matter how hard you stared at it. I started noticing lawns everywhere. That's when I knew it really had me. I'd be driving and I'd catch myself going, oh, that's one thin. And oh, they're cutting it that way, too short. Or, you look at, like, oh, somebody over there actually knows what they're doing. My wife thinks I've lost it. I'm at a barbecue silently critiquing a stranger's turf in my head like I'm walking through a gallery. And the people, I did not expect the people. When you start making stuff about lawns, you'd assume it's a quiet little corner of the internet where nothing happens. It is not. There are folks out there who are deeply, gloriously into this. People who have named their spreader. People who get genuinely emotional about a thick spring green up. And at first I thought that was a little funny, and now I'm kind of one of them. I really can't say anything more. What I love, if I had to put my finger on the actual thing, is that a lawn is one of the few projects a regular person can completely own. You don't need a contractor. You don't need a pile of money exactly. You need to understand what's happening under there. And then you need to show up consistently and not give in week 3 when it somehow looks worse before it looks better. That's it. That's the whole secret. It's not really a secret at all. It's just genuinely hard for people to do. And when somebody does do it, when somebody takes a yard, the whole neighborhood had written off and, brings it all the way back, it's kind of a pride in it that I think is one of the realest things you can feel about a piece of ground. I see in the comments, somebody posts a before and after, and you can feel how proud they are right through the screen. And I get to be a tiny part of that because David explains the how, and I'm the one back here making sure the how actually comes across clearly. That turned out to be a good job to have. I didn't know it would feel like a good job. I thought it was a video gig with a nice rate. There's also this, and it's the part I think about most. A lawn is patient with you too. You can mess it up. You can Scalp it, miss the feeding, let the weeds get a head start on you for a whole season, and it'll forgive you. You know, you fix the thing you got wrong, you give it some time, and it comes back. Not many hobbies forgive you like that. Most things, you make a mistake and it's just done. The moment's gone. A lawn just sits there and waits for you to get your act together. And I'll tell you the moment it stopped being a job. Actually, I have this sad little strip of grass by my own front step that I've ignored for years. And one weekend I decided to try the thing. I watched David explain 100 times, mowed it high, fed it, left it alone. And about a month later, I walked out, to get the mail, and I stopped because it was thick, like grass, the one I'd given up on. I stood there in my socks, feeling genuinely proud of that patch of dirt. And that was the day I knew this had stopped being editing and started being mine. So that's why I'm doing this. In case you ever sat there wondering who's actually back here and whether they care even a little. I do now. I really do. And I came for an editing job and I stayed because I accidentally found a thing that's calming and honest and a little bit stubborn, which now that I say it is actually pretty much my whole personality. So I'm not going to wrap this up with some nice, neat little bow because the entire point is that it doesn't wrap up. The lawn is still out there growing right now. And it'll keep growing whether anyone's filming it or not. I just think that's a nice thing to get to stand next to. Anyway, that's the real reason. And now you know.